That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Hello, world champions. Today, we continue on our odyssey with two Ds across the temporal ocean of hilarity, horror, and homosexuality that is the existence of a one Abilio Acosta, former White House correspondent for fiction publishing powerhouse CNN. In order to ensure Abilio, who you likely know by his CIA codename Jim, is treated with the same respect and accuracy that he so generously affords the subjects of his own reporting, in part two, I have strictly adhered to the same reporting standards as CNN. Now, as we began this journey in part 1 at the chronological end of the loosely associated failures to exercise intelligence at or above the level of Precambrian unicellular organisms, otherwise known as the life of Abilio Jim Acosta, it only makes sense that we proceed by Benjamin buttoning this story back to the source, which is Cuba, one Trump's girthy penis-shaped Acosta facial bruise at a time. But first, having enjoyed once more watching Abilio Acosta spray fear feces out of his rental property the instant a man who doesn't inject estrogen up his urethra started coming for him, we're going to take a quick moment to enjoy what immediately followed, because, you know, it's funny, and then we'll wrap ourselves in HIV-proof, hermetically sealed body condoms and full speed ahead across the event horizon that shields from sight the uterus of failure that lies at the end of said Cuban urethra.
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his
Well, I'm
butt
not a
like the
big
rest
fan
of
of
us.
yours either.
Oh my God.
So,
I understand.
To be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said...
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course of...
Okay, just sit down.
And that's what you get for defending Jim Acosta. Anyway, aside from the bizarre narrative of Abilio Acosta's innocence that requires you to literally not believe your own eyes, the second stupidest claim currently being made by the mainstream media with regards to Jim Acosta going whatever the opposite of supernova is that his grotesque display of cockroach ass ganglia was both a first and one-time thing. So let us now move backwards through both time and human evolution while we enjoy just some of the many transgressions of Abilio Acosta.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Mr. President.
July 30th, 2018. Abilio Acosta mouth poops on decorum by immaturely shouting at the end of a press conference to such a degree that what I only know wasn't his mom because she wasn't speaking Spanish with a Cuban accent is forced to drive him out with babysitter tactics.
Mr. President, if there is no collusion, why does Rudy Giuliani keep saying there is no crime and collusion?
Let's go.
Mr. President, do you think other countries, should not allow children to stay with their parents if they come in illegally?
Come on, Jim. Go. We're done.
July 13th, 2018, just 2 weeks prior, after interrupting again a press conference between President Trump and the semi-decayed corpse of the Slytherin trying to stop Brexit, Abilio takes a rhinoceros-sized dose of apex predator to the Barack Obama chair where his face is supposed to be.
It's not an easy negotiation.
Mr. President, since you attacked CNN, can I ask you a question?
John Roberts, go ahead, John. No. John Roberts, go ahead. CNN's fake news. I don't take questions. I don't take questions from CNN. CNN is fake news. I don't take questions from CNN. John Roberts of Fox. Let's go to a real network.
June 29th, 2018. Abilio enemy of the people Acosta displays both zero self-awareness and a mathematical proof that Trump is actually right when he shrieks so effeminately from the spot where they stick the losers that he gets shushed by a random stranger who, you know, doesn't want to listen to a menstruating CIA asset.
Mr. President, will you stop calling us the enemy of the people, sir? Will you stop calling the press the enemy of the people, sir? Mr. President, will you stop calling the press the enemy of the people, sir?
According to multiple anonymous sources at CNN, Acosta and his cameraman left this venue for their shared hotel room, which at first I assumed was due to CNN budget concerns. However, according to 69 former intelligence officials and 2 high-level Democrat vote stealers, Acosta actually selected the room by choice and paid for it out of pocket, and the 2 co-workers, luckily in total compliance with CNN company policy, proceeded to engage in 13 straight hours of a proprietary company icebreaker called Where's My Shotgun Mike? I spent a great deal of time and energy fact-checking, but unfortunately I was unable to prove that this didn't happen. June 12, 2018. In being from a country very much okay with being the anus-scented nuclear proxy of a corrupt anti-American country, Abilio decides it wise to queef Democrat and Chinese, oops that was redundant, propaganda at the 2 men willing to work together to break the cycle of manipulation in a transparent effort to incite tension with a country that he himself thinks will nuke Americans.
Did you talk about auto-warm beer, sir?
Mr. Kennedy, do you agree to give up your nuclear arms?
Having failed on his first attempt to get millions of Americans vaporized by Chinese nukes, Abilio tries again.
Mr. President, how's the meeting going so far, sir? Any progress, Mr. President?
Can we be nuclearized?
Mr. President, how's it going so far, sir?
Very good.
What do you think?
Very, very good. Chairman Kim, will you be nuclearized?
Mr. Kim, will you give up your nuclear weapons, sir?
Having failed again to get millions of Americans vaporized by Chinese nukes, Abilio was caught on a hot mic trying to save face before his fellow assets, you know what, they're both true, by bragging, quote, hey, if they're not gonna let me in the fucking meeting, that's what happens. Again, Cuban Abilio Jim Acosta is bragging about trying to derail a nuclear peace treaty that protects American lives.
Hey, if they're not going to let me in the fucking meeting, that's what happens. That's right.
Yeah, that's our shot to ask him.
All day long, man. All day long.
It's certainly
They
our
don't
shot
want
to
to
ask him a question.
That's all day long. That's the way it goes.
December 12, 2017, after being instructed not to interrupt the signing of the National Defense Authorization Act, which, to quote Trump, represents a monumentous step towards rebuilding our military and securing the future for our children. Abilio, I tried to disrupt a nuclear peace treaty, but no one think too hard about that. Acosta just goes ahead and interrupts anyway.
Mr. President, what did you mean when you said that Kirsten Gillibrand would do anything for a campaign contribution?
Just one day earlier, on December 11th, 2017, going on 1 year now before his White House press credentials were revoked, Abilio Acosta displays some familiar behavior in a press conference with Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
This is not the line of questioning that I was going down, but can you cite a specific story that you say is intentionally false, that was intentionally put out there to mislead the American people?
Sure, the ABC report by Brian Ross, I think that was pretty misleading to the American people, and I think that it's very telling that that individual had to be suspended because of that reporting. I think that shows that the network took it seriously and recognized that it was a problem.
Sarah,
Jim?
if I may, though, I was going to ask a question about something
Well,
else.
you used it on something else.
Sarah,
Jim?
if I may,
Sarah,
Not today. We're going to keep moving, guys.
If I can ask about the
other
president's accusations.
I'm moving to a
and
different
leveled
Jim.
against
I'm
them.
sorry.
I know, but I didn't get a chance to ask the question that I wanted to ask, which is,
Jim.
can you just say once and for all whether these
Jim, I'm going to say once and
accusations-
for all that I'm moving on to Jim Stinson, and I'm not taking another question from you at this point.
I was
Sarah, a
in
question
ways
about
to respond
investment-
to your attacks on the
investment
media,
taxes.
If that's okay, I would like to ask the question that I had about these accusations of misconduct against the president. You said that he's denied them. Can you say whether or not they are false?
I'm not
That's
going to
all I'm
respond to
asking.
another
You're
question.
not
Go
gonna-
ahead, Jim.
some investors are
August 2nd, 2017, now more than 1 year before Acosta's credentials were revoked, Abilio made the ill-advised decision to grandstand before then Press Secretary Stephen Idgaff Miller.
I want to be serious, Jim. Do you really at CNN not know the difference between green card policy and illegal immigration?
Sir,
You really
my
don't know
father
that?
is a Cuban immigrant. He came to this country in 1962, right before the Cuban Missile Crisis,
Oh, now I get it.
and obtained a green card. Yes, people who immigrate
Okay,
to this
so
country
Jim-
can eventually. People who
So Jim,
immigrate
it's
to
a
this
factual
country
question,
through,
Jim.
not through Ellis
Jim,
Island,
as a
your
factual,
family
Jim,
may
as a
have,
factual
but in other
question.
ways, do obtain a green card at some point. They do it through a lot of hard work, and yes, they may learn English as a second language later on in life.
So, but
this
Jim,
this whole notion of, well, they could learn, they have to learn English before they get to the United States. Are we just going to bring in people from Great Britain and Australia?
Jim, actually, I have to honestly say, I am shocked at your statement that you think that only people from Great Britain and Australia would know English. It reveals your cosmopolitan bias to a shocking degree that in your mind, no, this is an amazing moment. This is an amazing moment. That you think only people from Great Britain or Australia would speak English is so insulting to millions of hardworking immigrants who do speak English from all over the world. Jim, have you honestly never met an immigrant from another country who speaks English outside of Great Britain and Australia? Is that your personal experience?
Of course there are people who come
But that's not what you said, and it shows your cosmopolitan bias. And I just want to say,
it sounds like to you you're trying to engineer the racial and ethnic flow of people into this country.
Jim, that is one of the most outrageous, insulting, ignorant, and foolish things you've ever said.
Well, now that you hopefully have a better understanding of why Abilio Acosta got tossed from the White House worse than a Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, we'll end part 2 of this continuing series with the interruption that started it all. January 11th, 2017.
Go ahead.
No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
since you are attacking
No,
our news
not you.
organization,
Not
can
you.
you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance
terrible.
to
Let's
ask a
go.
question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm not
us a
gonna give you a
question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.
can you
That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and if you'd like to see more of it, consider supporting this channel through one-time PayPal donations, Patreon, or by purchasing a shirt or song. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams. 'Cause now you get the monkey! Come and get some, come and get it. I got something I think you like to suck on when you get here. I'll mount your fucking head on the mountain I call my bed. I've got an itch and I'ma scratch it.